All right, and we are now live on Facebook. So hi to everyone who's watching. My name is Caitlin, and I am the Community Outreach Director and Patient Care Coordinator over here at TherapyWorks. And I am joined today by Britani Baxter, one of our excellent physical therapy assistants. And she is here today to talk about neck pain. So let's just jump right in, Britani, if you're good to go. So neck pain is actually one of the top 5 most common conditions that we treat here at TherapyWorks. So could you tell us a little bit about like why it's so common and why so many people struggle with this?
Yeah, so there's 2 main factors as to why it's one of our most common conditions. The first one is your neck is made of 7 different vertebrae, which means you've got 7 different joints in the small amount of space in your neck. The second factor is that most people don't realize that our heads weigh about 10 pounds. So it'd be the equivalent of carrying a bowling ball on top of your shoulders all day long.
Yeah, that's not a small task for tiny bones.
Yes.
And with 7 joints, it sounds like there's a lot that can go wrong. You know, it's not like your elbow that's just, you know, one joint.
Right. Not only is it, you know, it's seven different joints, but there's several muscles in there because the weight of our head has to be supported. But then there's also just several different movements that those joints do that can lead to the increased risk of more complications.
All right. So one of the things that we talk about a lot, and I do the social media posts and I often post about tech neck. So could you tell us a little bit about like what tech neck is?
Yeah, so what it is we call it tech neck because it's often linked to looking down at our computers all day long or looking at our phones all day long, because it's the repeated bending forward of the neck, especially for a long period of time. Like I said, the muscles in our neck are very small. And so if you were to hold a bowling ball in your hand, but hold it just slightly forward for an extended period of time, it's going to be a lot harder than if you were holding it upright in line with your body.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because like if your head is straight up, then it's like balanced. But if it's forward, then you're like pulling it up. That would be
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be pretty tiring, or yes. I guess is pretty tiring. I am guilty of that one for sure.
Yes.
So if someone is experiencing neck pain, what are some stretches that can most often help?
So some of the most common stretches we're going to have a patient here in the clinic do is we're going to have them start with we'll start with either side, but take their ear and go straight to the same side shoulder. And we tell them to hold for
I'm participating. It
about
just feels
20
good.
to 30 seconds. And then we usually tell them to do it twice to each side. Another thing we have them do is they're going to be looking towards, like if they had a pocket on the chest of their shirt. So we would tell them to look straight down and then rotate the head so that they'd be looking towards that pocket. And same thing, holding 20 to 30 seconds, twice on each side.
Awesome. And I will say what I always say in these videos, absolutely give these a try if you feel comfortable, but they should definitely not be painful. So if you experience any pain or if you don't think that it's quite the right fit for your condition, you know, we are not treating you here on this Facebook Live. So if you have any pain or have any doubts, go ahead and talk to a medical professional, such as us, your physical therapist, one-on-one, and get advice about it before continuing.
That's a good comment, Caitlin. One of the things I like to tell my patients here in the clinic is, you know, with the stretches, and it's, you know, same goes for any part of the body, whether it's your arm, your leg, anything else, is you want to stretch up until the point of you start feeling a little bit of pull, but no stretch should ever be painful. The stretches are purely for increasing flexibility and range of motion. They shouldn't cause any increase in pain.
Yeah, pain doesn't help. You just injure and then it's less flexible. So not the way to go. So that being said, what are some like exercises or motions that you have patients do pretty often with neck pain?
So a lot of what we'll do is we have a lot of times we'll have patients doing, just shoulder rolls, especially somebody who looks at the computer all day long, which many professions nowadays do. We tell them to do just backward shoulder rolls throughout the day, maybe some shoulder blade squeezes. We'll have them just looking side to side, kind of going, same thing with the stretches, going as far as they can within a comfortable range of motion, holding for just a second or two at each end. Otherwise, from there, a lot of it is also going to be just working on posture as well. So one thing we'll have patients do is we'll tell them to tuck their chin back. And so it'll just be straight back. And that's going to help stretch out the back of the neck. But it also helps them kind of see where their head is versus kind of where it should be for proper posture.
Okay, great. So, we kind of talked about what to do if you have neck pain, but what are some good ways to avoid that neck pain to begin with? So like I said, a lot of this comes from constantly looking down at our computer screens. So one thing we like phone screens.
Or phones, yes. Or even, we've had patients who they, will go home after work and they like to knit or crochet and it's looking down into their lap, or they'll go home and read a book or a magazine, which is going to cause them to look down as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be technology.
Mm-hmm.
But the important thing is just raising everything up to eye level so that they're not having to look down quite as far. If you're in a job that has the ability to bring your computer screen up, whether it be putting it on a higher desk or, like here at the office, we have our laptops. And so we always tend to gravitate towards our taller countertops so that our computers are up higher so that we aren't finding ourselves looking down all day.
Yeah, I usually stack some books under mine. So it doesn't have to be like a fancy desk, it's just anything to bring the screen a little higher. And then especially if you have like a detachable keyboard, that's
right. Yes. And then if you're looking at your phone or something, it's just holding that phone up closer to eye level versus holding it down in your lap when you're looking at it.
Gotcha. So, lots of people have neck pain. And for some people, it's, very brief. I looked down at my knitting too much on Sunday. Monday was a little painful, and then they move on. So how do you know when it crosses the line between, just quote unquote, like normal pain or normal human experience versus something that you should really go to a physical therapist and have someone look at it?
Right. So one of the things is going to be, is your neck pain, just extremely painful? Is it something that just out of nowhere, you woke up, it's hurting really bad, it continues hurting really bad for several days, regardless of what you're trying to do? Does that pain restrict your motion? Does it make it to where you can't check your blind spots when you're driving? Because it hurts to turn your head one way or the other. Does it make it to where you have a hard time doing your job because, looking around, looking up and down, whatever you have to do for your job hurts too much? If it lasts for more than a couple weeks, if it's, like you said, if you're doing knitting or crocheting or you're, on the computer more over the weekend and you wake up Monday, Tuesday, you're a little sore, but by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're back to feeling normal. You've got normal motion. I'd say that's not concern for coming into PT. But if you're knitting and crocheting 3-4 nights in a row, and then you find that a week, 2 weeks later, you're still having the same neck pain, then I would say it would be a good idea to come in and just do one of our complimentary consultations and see, speak with one of us here about what we can do or what we think would be the best option for you.
Absolutely. And, and I should jump in. Sometimes people think, prolonged means that it has to hurt the entire time, which is not true. If it's hurting every day in the evening, that's a problem. Just because it doesn't hurt all day or doesn't hurt constantly doesn't mean that it's not continued chronic pain.
Right.
It's still concerning and a reason to come in. And the other thing is, even if you know what's causing it, if you're like, every day I have to look at my computer screen, and so every night my neck hurts, that's still something that physical therapists can help you with. They can help to, I'm not a physical therapist, as I said at the beginning, but I spend a lot of time around you guys. I know what you do. So I've seen them do a lot of work with people who think that, their pain, they know what causes it, and they're like, that means it's not a big deal. But if they come into physical therapy, then your therapist can help give you the tools that you need to make it so that you're not feeling that way every day, so that you have the muscle strength and the posture, so that at the end of the day, even if you have all the same behaviors, you're not in pain. So, keep in mind that, I think that when we talk about chronic pain or prolonged pain, sometimes people take themselves out of that box when they really do fit that description, because they don't understand that we're talking about them,
Yes. And it doesn't even have to be, severe 5, 6, 7 or higher pain every single day. Even if it's just a constant 2 to 3 out of 10, you just consider it kind of a dull, achy feeling. But if that's lasting all day long for a week or two, that still is just as troublesome and gets just as annoying as if you're on the higher end of the pain scale.
Absolutely. Even just a very small level of pain regularly or constantly or prolongedly, that has a real impact on your life. Imagine if you were just in low level pain from now until you died. That would be awful.
Yes.
So yeah, so please come in. So you also did mention our complimentary consultations. Could you talk a little bit more about, what those involve and what those are?
Yeah, so what the complimentary consultation is you call into the office and just speak with somebody at the front desk and let them know you want to come in for one. You sit down with one of our either physical therapists or the physical therapist assistants for 10, 20 minutes. It's not going to take up your whole day or anything like that. We just ask a few questions about your pain, how long it's been going on, what makes the pain worse, what makes the pain better. What kind of pain is it? Is it dull and achy? Is it sharp shooting, stabbing pain? And then what we do is we send that off to your doctor and just let your doctor know that, hey, patient so-and-so came in with pain here. We think it'd be a good idea to go ahead and do an evaluation and treat their pain. They sign it, send it back to us, and that's all that we need as far as a referral goes to be able to get you in to do an eval. So it saves you a trip to the doctor as well to have to go through other appointments and tests and everything else just to end up back with us.
Yeah. And I should jump in, not most people, if they do come to a consultation, usually they're at the point of probably needing physical therapy if they take the time to do it. But that doesn't mean that just because you come in, we're going to, automatically say that physical therapy is, for you, because obviously we don't want to take anyone on that we can't help. That's pointless. We're here to help you. So if we can't help you, we do, as a company, have a lot of knowledge about where to send you. TherapyWorks is the longest operating physical therapy clinic, business, whatever. We're the longest operating physical therapy group in Lawrence, Kansas. So we know the doctors, we know the specialists, we know where to send you, we know who to refer you to, what next steps you can take. And occasionally the answer is, this probably isn't quite a physical therapy level thing. Try a few stretches, here you go. Come back if it gets worse or if you need more. But it's always up to you. We don't just automatically enlist you, but we can make that process easier and sort of streamline it. So basically by the end of it, you better understand what's going on with your body and you understand what next steps you need to take to achieve better health. And finally, you have someone in your corner who's ready to help you take those steps, wherever they may be. And it's free. So there's really no reason not to do it if you think it might help. You know, there's no obligation or anything like that after it. It's just to better understand your own health and what steps you can take after that. So yeah, and I would also like to say, you know, just before we close out, we do have it's Physical Therapy Month right now, so we're celebrating all month long over at TherapyWorks, and we are culminating in 2 big events at the end of this month. One is on Monday, October 25th. We have a brand new Light Force laser, which we are used for laser therapy treatments. And so on October 25th, we are launching this new laser and laser therapy program, I should say. We're not like launching it into space. So we're launching our new laser therapy program. So you can make a 15-minute appointment and come in, try it out for free, see what it's about. It helps to treat pain and inflammation. So if either of those are things that you struggle with, come in and get a free treatment. Give us a call now because our spots are filling up pretty quickly. But it's just a 15-minute appointment. And then the other day is November 2nd, which is going to be our complimentary consultation day. So if you are not quite ready to come in right now, or are a little bit iffy about the complimentary consultation, that is going to be a day where our clinic is just devoted entirely to helping people in the community access healthcare better through providing just consultation after consultation to help you guys all out. And like I said, figure out where your health journey should lead next. And those will be 30-minute appointments. And again, they are filling up. So go ahead and give us a call. Our number is 785-749-1300. So, wow, I had that memorized. I've written that on a lot of flyers lately. So anyway, do you have anything to add, Brittany?
I don't think so. I think that covers everything.
All right. So hope you guys learned something that'll help with your neck pain. And until next time, have a good evening.